topographical scan of the area shows a break in the foliage north of here. Should be big enough to bring in a dropship for evac.
Well, hi there, Achievers. This is Cloudchief here, bringing you another achievement video. This video is for the achievement Bros to the Close. And this is by far the most difficult achievement in Halo 4, in my opinion. To get this achievement on, especially if you're doing it solo, is to try and stay back. So that way your Marines aren't moving forward, because they will just end up charging the enemies and getting themselves killed. As you can see, they're not moving too far ahead by just staying back, which is what you want. If at any point you notice one dies, you want to quickly reload the last checkpoint. But if you just stay back here behind the sandbags and just pick off all the enemies, it should keep them alive. There's basically 3 difficult parts. This beginning part's somewhat difficult. The middle part, which will be happening next, is difficult, and then there's one part near the end. So, like, we got a checkpoint, and both of the Marines are good, so this is a good spot to reload if there's an issue. Also, if you can, you want to give your Marines light rifles, because they will definitely do much better against the Prometheans. If you can, you want to get ahead of them for the next part, which I'm not going to end up doing, because I'd rather have good weapons, but it's going to make the part more difficult, because they're going to be, you know, right in the face of the Prometheans. So, other problem is now that they're up there, waiting for me, when I go and give the other guy a light rifle, the other one's going to kind of run up ahead, so you want to take note of that. But at least I got a checkpoint, so it's not a far back if I die. So now you just want to take out these guys. And you also, when you're, for this part, you want to kind of get out in front. So that way the Marines aren't taking damage. And yeah, ended up dropping. But at least we go back to an easy checkpoint there. Yeah, get the light rifle, try and give it to him again. That's the other thing. One of them has a DMR, one of them has a assault rifle. So, if you have one of those weapons, you're not going to be able to give it to the same one, because you can't have, you know, 2 DMRs or 2 assault rifles. I also like having the auto turret. It helps for the later part. Another thing to note is you can actually start this mission from Rally Point Bravo, and it'll start you right here. You might want to start at the beginning if you really want Promethean vision, because you won't have Promethean vision for just starting at Rally Point Bravo. So yeah, you just want to take these guys out, and after they're taken out, make sure, again, both your Marines are alive. So, now, this part's pretty easy, but you want to make sure you don't cross where the sandbags are, because if you do, all the Marines will run out forward, and then you'll spawn the next wave. So you'll essentially have 2 waves to take out, and if you're dealing with 2 waves rather than just 1, it's a much higher chance of your Marines dying. Because at this point, you have 6 Marines to look after rather than just 2. So, we just want to stay back here and pick off all the enemies and make sure all the Marines are accounted for. So, there's 3 of them that have light rifles now. And like I said, they do decent damage now. They do much better damage with the light rifles than they do with, you know, the regular weapons. Also, there is a railgun, which you will want to take out the knights at this next part. I use it to take out the watchers that come and spawn the 2 turrets, because the watchers will just sit there for a second, so it's easy to aim them up with the railgun and take them out quickly. Because the turrets will take out your soldiers in 1 shot, if you let them. Right now I'm just waiting for that last crawler to stick his head out. Yeah, there he is. So now just making sure, you know, all the enemies are clear, and we have all 6 soldiers, which you can see all 6 of them are there. So when you're ready at this point, you want to charge out so you can get ahead of them and try to draw the fire. And like I said, with the railgun, you can take out the knight and the 2 watchers that'll come. The 2 watchers will come at the 2 top parts. Yeah, there's one. So took him out. That's why the railgun's so good. And take out the other watcher. So now both watchers are down, since they're the most annoying part because they can revive the enemies. And I took out the other turret. Now you just want to clear out the enemies, and then you'll actually get some relief before the last part. So now all the enemies are dead, you want to make sure that, you know, again, all 6 Marines are here. If not, you want to quickly reload before you get another checkpoint.
A Marine's got trapped trying to get through these doors. Look for an interface.
So, all 6 Marines are still alive. You want to go ahead and now gear up. Until you go and pop the next part, go put Cortana in there, you won't, no enemies will come. So all 6 soldiers are accounted for. So you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. And then there's 1 dead soldier right there at the top, so you want to make sure you're not thinking that that's one of them. And then there's 1 over by the switch. Just so you're clear. There's 1 of them. And there's another dead soldier. So if you see them, don't think one of your soldiers dropped, because they're just automatically there. Now for this part, the NPCs will actually help you a lot. You kind of want to just be out in the middle and draw the fire. And I like grabbing the other railgun that was sitting there on the sandbags. But as long as you're down here in the center, you'll draw most of the fire and your NPCs shouldn't drop. This part's actually pretty easy compared to every other part. And yeah, that's why I like the railgun so much, is you can just drop the knights in 1 shot. And you can see all the enemies are going for me, since I'm just right out in the center, easy for them to target, which is what you want. Aw, that's a shame dropped, but at least you get a checkpoint right before that last part, so that's not a big deal at all. So yeah, it's just as long as you're down here in the trenches, so to speak, it's pretty easy. Especially with the railgun, since you can easily just destroy the knights. And this is also why I like the turret. It just gives you another, you know, thing that's shooting at the enemies. So with me, there's 8 things shooting at the enemies, and it just, you know, causes lots of distraction, easy to pick them off. And finally, I'll have a light rifle to myself. And this should be the last few enemies here, I think. And that should be about it. All 6 Marines should be accounted for. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oh, and there's still a couple enemies. But as long as you just chill back and wait, so you're just not getting too many enemies and just picking them off, it definitely helps with the mission. It should take you a couple tries. This is definitely the hardest achievement, in my opinion, for Halo 4. But just making it clear that, yeah, I got all 6, because I'm not going to get the achievement to pop. When you go and pull Cortana is when the achievement would pop for you. But since I got it already, it's not going to show up for me. Just to note, you have to do this on heroic or harder. And that's it, the achievement would pop now. So if you got some value out of this video, please go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment on this video. And here's my other achievement video for No One Left Behind. Check it out, it has a lot of good tips for it. May you have success in all you do.